Hey guys, this is Maliha from the Site Blogger, and in today's video, I want to talk about newsletter ads. So, some of you probably know that I have a newsletter, and I have close to 10,000 subscribers at this point. And recently, in just recent weeks, I have started running ads in my newsletter. I waited all this time because I had this warped idea that running ads on my newsletters would be cringe. And I don't know why I thought that because I actually subscribe to a lot of newsletters who also run ads, and I have personally never found those ads cringe or anything. So somehow, when it came to my newsletters, I just had this idea in my head that they would be cringe. I don't know why I thought that, but I had this deep rooted belief for the longest time. But then in recent months, I started questioning that belief. Like, why do I think that when I have no trouble with advertisements in somebody else's newsletter? As a matter of fact, I have found some great creators and business owners to follow through newsletter ads. And so I started rethinking this whole concept of newsletter ads, and I realized that newsletter ads can be beneficial to both sides, to both parties. So the advertisers will obviously benefit from being able to tap into my audience, an audience that they didn't have access to before advertising. And as a newsletter owner and newsletter operator, it is beneficial for me because I'm making money, and running newsletters is expensive. Like, I pay ConvertKit over $100 for my newsletter every single month, and soon I will cross that 10,000 subscriber mark, and I will be paying even more. So yeah, it's not cheap running a newsletter. So why don't I run ads? So with that thought, back in June of 2024. This is August, by the way, depending on when you're watching, just so you know, this is the timeline. In June of 2024, early June, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to start running ads, and I'm going to be serious about running ads. So I started learning more about newsletter ads, and I started figuring out, the tech stack for how to um, start selling, and the whole system of keeping track of advertisements and all of that. So I started researching in early June, and then I ran my first newsletter ad on June. I believe it was June 28th. And then something funny happened. I actually sold out all throughout July. Like, all of my July ad slots were sold out even before the mid-July point. And I think that's kind of cool because, I'm pretty new to newsletter ads. And the fact that I was able to sell out all of July ad slots in just a few days was an accomplishment in and of itself, but it made me realize that there is a market for it, that people actually want to advertise in newsletters. As long as you can reach out to the right people, they will be willing to buy ads in your newsletter. And if they're the right people, they will benefit from advertising in your newsletter. And you will also benefit as the newsletter owner slash operator, you will benefit from it too because you will make more money, right? So that was kind of cool, I thought. And so here I am making this video. And just a quick note that the reason I'm making this video is because I recently had a client, a coaching client. So if you don't know, I coach people in blogging, content marketing, newsletter growth, etc., etc. So recently I had a client who was one of my subscribers, and who still is one of my subscribers. But they asked me, okay, because they noticed that I was running ads, and they also have their own newsletter. So they were interested to know how to get started running ads. So that made me think that, okay, maybe I should make a video out of it and kind of give you the basics that you need to know to start running ads in your newsletter. All right, so here's how to get started and go about it, how I did it. Now, there are many different ways of running newsletter ads. I'm pretty sure there are people who do things a certain way, and I probably do things differently from them. But let's see what it looks like for me, okay? Now, just to clarify a couple of things right off the bat, a lot of people actually join newsletter ad networks. So if you're on ConvertKit, ConvertKit has its own version of newsletter ad network that you can join, and a bulk of the work, for example, getting clients and placements and making writing copy and whatnot, all of that stuff is taken care of by the ConvertKit ad team. Um, you can do that, and there are others like that too. So Beehive, another newsletter platform, also has their own ad network, but not all newsletter platforms have their own ad networks. So there are also ad networks that you can join that are not particularly attached to any newsletter specific platform. So one of them is Passion Fruit that I know of. Another is Paved. Now those are great platforms. I've heard about them, and maybe if you want to, you can look at them. You can set up your account with them, but I didn't really want to do it that way. Maybe eventually I might, I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty new to this whole thing, but I am also a little obsessed with ownership. So I like having control over what I'm doing. And I also don't like sharing revenue with other people, especially like businesses and whatnot, third party um, businesses. So, Paved, for example, I heard that they take a pretty big cut of whatever you would make from selling an ad. And I didn't want to do that. I also didn't want to, the whole system of, relying on somebody else to find ads for you and whatnot. Um, I just wasn't sure about that. I'm not saying it's wrong or it's bad or anything. It's just that I personally feel more comfortable when I can control the details of how my business is run. All right. So that's just me. So I just want to point out right off the bat that if you're someone trying to join ad networks and whatnot, I'm not the right person to tell you how to do that. And this video will not teach you how to do that. So this video is only for those of you who want to sell their own ads on their own platform. So if that's what you're trying to do, then this video will be useful to you. But otherwise, if you're thinking of joining ad networks, then this video is not for you. All right, so with that out of the way, if you're still here, if you're still hoping to learn how to run ads, um, my hope is that I will be able to help you get started. So this is how I did it. The first thing I did is that when I decided that I wanted to run ads, I went and looked at all the newsletters that I know who also run ads. So one of the newsletters that I absolutely love is Josh Spector's newsletter. So this is one of Josh Spector's newsletters that he sent, I believe, a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple of weeks ago. I don't know. Anyway, so this is Josh's email. His emails are actually always pretty short, so that's kind of cool. And look, this line right here is the sponsored content. So this is an ad. It says right here, today's email is brought to you by a free way to learn marketing strategy from someone who's built 2 unicorn companies. And this is funny because I actually started following this person um, because of Josh Spector, and they write amazing things. And the only reason that I found them was thanks to Josh's newsletter. So that's what I was talking about earlier, that this can be a mutually beneficial thing if you do it right, you know because I wouldn't have been able to find this person or find this newsletter had it not been for Josh's newsletter and the ad that he was running. So I have personally found a lot of cool people to follow through newsletter ads. So just in case you're still thinking that, oh, newsletter ads are cringe, they're really not. If you don't make it cringe, it's not going to be cringe. And look at Josh's email. It's so clean. Like, he runs only text-based ads, which is also something that I'm doing in my newsletter. I also run only text-based ads. And this is clean, and this doesn't even look like ad or marketing because it's like it just blends in. And I have found that all the people who advertise in Josh's newsletter, they are super amazing creators. Like they're high quality creators, and I almost always end up following them myself because they're so good. So again, if you're feeling cringe about, a little cringy about running ads in newsletter, it is not. Advertisements, sales, and marketing are not cringeworthy or anything like that, anything close to that. If you think that, you're in the wrong business. You shouldn't be running a content business if you're, put off by the concept of advertisements and things like that, because that's literally what we do. That's our job. So I know this is starting to sound a bit hypocritical because I used to think that way too. I don't know why, but as soon as I was able to, you know, um, look at it differently, I realized how wrong I was. And I hope you will come to see that too if you think that running ads in newsletters is a cringe thing to do. It's not. Anyway, so this is Josh's newsletter, and another newsletter that I follow and I have found a lot of value from is Anne Friedman's newsletter. I have been following Anne for a very long time, and I've always loved Anne's newsletters. Um, and she also runs ads, and this is what her ads look like. Let me scroll down. There you go, the classifieds. So these are Anne's ads, and she also runs text-based ads. She doesn't run images or anything like that. Very clean, very simple, as you can see. Couple of sentences, just just promoting the products, and that's pretty much it. So following, I actually kind of took my inspiration from Anne Friedman and Josh Spector, and following their strategy, because they're also two creators who sell their newsletter ads on their own platforms. And I will show you in a second what that looks like. But because I like them so much and they run advertisements on their own platform, I thought, why not try it out for myself? And I'm really happy that that's the route I went because I have all the control over who gets to advertise in my newsletter and how much I charge and all of that little details that I wouldn't be able to control if I joined an ad network. So there's that. Now, this is what my ads look like. So this is one of my newsletters, a recent newsletter, and this is what the sponsored area looks like. I tried to keep it clean, following Josh and Friedman's examples. So this is what it looks like right now. This is another email, another advertise slot, and this is the third email, and this is what it looks like. So I am very new to it, and I'm still kind of fine-tuning what my ads should look like. So like this one, for example, as you can see, the ads are kind of long, and I realized that people tend to click more if the text is not, if for brief text basically. So recently I started doing this, like short ads, and I think I have had better conversion, at least in terms of clicks, when I keep the ads short. So I went from 300 characters. These are when I was selling 300 character ads. And now I'm selling shorter ads, 150 characters at most. And I think they perform better actually. Anyway, so those are ads. And so let me show you how to get started, how to start getting advertisers, how to set up your tech side of things, etc., etc. All right, let's see. Before I show you, I want to show you a couple of different ways that other people do it. So Anne Friedman, like I was saying, she also sells ads through her own platform. So this is what it looks like. So this is Anne's website, and as you can see, this is her platform. And she actually has her website on Squarespace. So I'm assuming she's using Squarespace's e-commerce features to sell her ads. And this is what it looks like. You can select a date, and Anne actually has like two separate lengths, like a long length, 300 characters, and a short one. So she offers two different versions, and depending on the length, the price varies. So that's what Anne Friedman's newsletter ad platform looks like. And then if you look at Josh, let's see. Josh's is a little different. So if I go to Josh Spector's website, this is Josh's newsletter, for the interested, it's called. And if you want to advertise, you can click the advertise link, and then you can click reserve your ad here. And Josh actually set up his newsletter ad with Square. So you may have heard of the Square platform, and this is what it looks like. So his is a little different, but the idea is the same, that he doesn't use ad networks to sell ads. He uses his own platform. Or, well, Square is not his platform, but it's something where he can control everything. It's not dependent on somebody else to, set things up, or nobody is taking a huge cut of the profits from Josh. So those are two different methods of that I have seen people using when they sell ads in their own platform. So I wanted to do something similar, and what I did is I actually took my ideas from Anne Friedman, because Anne's is like literally her own platform. So she's using on her website, she's using her website to sell ads, as opposed to Josh Spector, who's using Square. So it is still a third party, and I didn't want to use third party, especially considering I use WordPress and I have e-commerce capabilities like, WooCommerce. I already sell digital products using WooCommerce. So if you have been on my website, you know that I sell Canva templates. So these templates, for example, I use WooCommerce to sell them. So I already have an e-commerce platform. So I just didn't want to use anything else, any third party or anything. So I had to figure out a way to sell these ads on my own platform using WooCommerce. And I will show you what it looks like in the back end in a minute. But let me just say that it's actually kind of cool the way Anne does it. So let me choose an ad just to show you. I'm not going to buy it, but I want to show you what Anne's system looks like. So you pick a date, you pick a length, and you click add to cart. Oh, sorry, I didn't select a length. All right, add to cart. And then right away, there's a form, and you fill out the form with your name, your email, your ad text, your link to include, text to hyperlink, and any other advice or whatever. And then you can add to cart, and then that takes you to the payment, and then you make the purchase, and that's it, you're done. On Josh's case, it's a little different because Square doesn't have the capability, last I checked, to input all the ad text or anything. There's no form that you can use to do that. So I was actually watching one of Josh Spector's YouTube videos from a couple of years ago, where he was kind of describing his process. And his process felt like a little too much work, because he actually has an assistant who helps him do this. So people buy his ads, for example, and because they cannot provide ad text right away when they're buying, because there's no form capability with Josh's system, people actually have to buy an ad first and then send the ad text via email later on, which can be a bit of a cumbersome process because sometimes people forget to send ad text and whatnot. So when that happens, it creates additional work for you. Now, in Josh's case, it's okay because he has someone to help him with that. He has like an assistant who helps him with all of these detailed things, all of these, um, the logistics of all of this thing. But I don't have an assistant. I am a solopreneur, like a true solopreneur. I do everything by myself. So I don't have the time or the resources to like chase down customers so they can give me ad text and whatnot. So I had to do something like what Anne has done. But Anne uses Squarespace and I don't have Squarespace. And WooCommerce has as far as I knew at the time, WooCommerce didn't have the capability of adding a form to it. So I started thinking, okay, what can I do? But the cool thing about WordPress is that if you can think of a feature or functionality, there's always a way to implement it with plugins and whatnot. So I actually ended up finding multiple plugins that can help you attach a form to your WooCommerce cart so that when people are buying, they're forced to fill out a form before they hit the purchase button. So that's what I did. I actually went and I actually used a free plugin. There are paid plugins too, but I found a free plugin that was perfect for what I was trying to do. So let me show you what it looks like on my end. So when people click the Buy Newsletter Ad tab on my website, this is the newsletter ad page. And as you can see, it kind of looks like Anne Friedman's because she was kind of my inspiration for this whole, the way I set things up. And people can choose a date from here, from the drop down. And I send my newsletters on every Tuesdays and Fridays and Sundays too, but Sunday I actually rerun the ads from the previous week, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me show you the tech stack first, and then we will talk about some best practices and whatnot. So when people are buying ad, they can choose a date, and these dates are always either a Tuesday or a Friday. So they can choose a date. And right now, as of making this video, in August, I'm actually having a summer sale. So the regular price of my newsletter ads are $127, but for summer, I'm selling it with kind of like a pay what you want. So the minimum amount is $45, and then people can buy an ad for 45 or more. So for example, if someone adds 35 and they try to add it to the cart, it doesn't do that. It gives them a warning that value must be greater or equal to 45. So as soon as you hit 45, people should be able to add it to a cart, and then they can hit checkout. And then in the checkout, this is what it looks like. So under billing details, there's an additional field. It says enter ad text and link, 150 characters. So it's not exactly like Anne Friedman's because she's using Squarespace, I'm using WooCommerce, so obviously there's going to be some difference. But I was able to, using a free plugin, I was able to incorporate the ad text input before someone makes a purchase. So they can just come here, and it's a required field for everyone who buys an ad from me, that they have to actually put the ad text before they hit the place order button here. So as you can see, it's pretty streamlined. I have managed to cut down a lot of extra work thanks to a free plugin. And so I don't have to chase clients or anything like that. People who buy these ads, they they have to do the work before they even buy the ads. So that takes off a lot of the load of chasing down clients for me. So that's kind of neat. Now this is what the front end looks like for a buyer, and that's pretty much it. But on the back end, it's actually pretty simple. So this is my WordPress dashboard, and this is the SiteBlogger newsletter ad product that I have set up using the WooCommerce plugin. WooCommerce is the plugin that facilitates the e-commerce capabilities within the WordPress ecosystem, basically. And this is what it looks like. And I don't have the time or the bandwidth within a YouTube video to go over all the tech details of how to set things up and whatnot. But I will give you all the things I'm using so that you can go and you know where to start. And then all of these things are pretty intuitive, so you can figure them out if you want. And if not, I actually have a tutorial in my membership vault that you can take a look at. So I will add that too. I will add a link to that in the descriptions of this video. So anyway, so this is what it looks like. Show off your newsletter, blog, podcast, or whatever you want to 9K plus subscribers, blah, blah, blah. Basically the ad text. And then it's a variable product. So with WooCommerce, you can set up variable products. And by variable, I mean, if you look at the front end of it, as you can see, people can choose a date, and that makes it a variable product. So there are variations that you can choose from. That's where the name variable product comes from. So you have to choose the variable product, and then you can add variations. You can add these dates and attributes. Basically, in the attributes section, you add all the variables, and then you go to the variations area to create all these variables, and that's pretty much it. And you can, figure out how to do all of that either from free YouTube videos, or if you join my membership vault, I will show you how to do all of that over there as well. But this is what the back end looks like. And the free plugin that I mentioned, that that helps you take input form, that helps you implement an input form during the checkout, is called custom checkout fields. So look for the custom checkout fields plugin, WooCommerce plugin, and that has a free option and a paid option. The paid option has like multiple fields, so you can have like many questions. Now, if I go to my front end again, proceed to checkout. As you can see, I only have one field, and that's free. The plugin comes with one option, one input field. And for me, one is sufficient because all I'm asking is for people to input their ad text and link. And they do that in the same field. Now, if I were to pay for this plugin, their premium version has multiple input fields, and I could have done something like how Anne Friedman has done with her Squarespace site, where she has a separate box for the link, a separate box for the text that people want to hyperlink, and then anything else she should know, etc., etc. She has like multiple things going. But I personally don't even want that because I want things to be as simple as possible for me. So for me, the free version of the plugin was more than sufficient. And people intuitively know what to do, basically. So I've never had any problem with it. So that's the plugin that you use. It's called Custom Checkout Fields for WooCommerce, and that allows you to create a field where you can kind of enter what the input text should look like. It says for me, enter ad text and link, 150 characters, blah, 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 and that's it. So that's what it looks like. And if you're interested in the capability, the plugin that allows me to allow my buyers enter their own pricing, then that plugin is called, I believe, Pay What You Want. So the plugin itself is called Pay What You Want, and it is also a free plugin. And if you want to implement a pricing system where your buyers can input their own price, then this Pay What You Want plugin, free plugin, can help you do that. Now, like I said, I'm only using it for the summer. I'm running this summer sale because I'm so new. I'm just trying to get more ads and whatnot. So eventually, by September, I think I'll get rid of it and I will just have the regular price. That's the idea anyway. And that's what it looks like. So that's the tech side of running ads. And before I talk about, how to get clients and whatnot, here's the thing. Once someone places an ad, WooCommerce sends me an email saying that, okay, someone bought something from me. And right away, I do this one thing. I have set up a Google Sheet, and as soon as a new order comes in, or, as soon as I can, I actually go in there and I add the text to this Google Sheet. It's a simple sheet by date. I have a date and the ad page or the ad text area. So I write it over there so I don't have to go and hunt down, um, dig through all the WooCommerce orders through, because I get a lot of orders for not just newsletter ads, but also for Canva templates and whatnot. So it's kind of a, cumbersome if I have to dig through that every time I send an email. So whenever an order for a newsletter ad comes in, right away I enter it into this Google Sheet. So all I have to do before I send the newsletter is go into this Google Sheet and see which ads are running on which day, and then, just copy and paste and be done with it. So that's what the system and the tech stack looks like. Now let's talk about some of the other parts of the logistics where, how do I get customers and clients and whatnot. Now, if you join an ad network, for example, if you're on ConvertKit and you join ConvertKit's ad network, then ConvertKit will help you do a bulk of the heavy lifting, the legwork, if you will. They will try to find clients for you and whatnot. Now, if you're running ads on your own newsletter, then you can do a couple of different things to get clients. You can let your subscribers, your existing subscribers, know that you're going to start running ads and try to see if some of them will, purchase ads from you. So I have, like, at the time when I started running ads, less than 2 months ago, I already had like 9.5K subscribers. And so basically, what happened is that I sent an email to my subscribers and I let them know that, hey, I will be running ads. And I was looking, I told you that I was watching Josh Spector's um, YouTube video about running ads, and he did something similar. He actually sent his subscribers, he told his subscribers that, hey, I'm going to start running ads, something similar. And some of them actually converted and became buyers themselves. So that's kind of cool. And that works well if you have a decent amount of subscribers. And here's the other thing. If you're thinking of running ads, I think you should have at least, a few hundred subscribers to start off. Now, with just a few hundred subscribers, you may be able to sell ads for only a few dollars, $10 or $20 at most, because people aren't going to get a lot of conversions from your emails. But the more subscribers you have, the more you can charge for newsletter ads. So I am charging 127, and I'm still very new to this whole thing, so I'm a little concerned. I don't know if it's too much or too little or whatever. But Josh Spector actually runs his ads for $350. But Josh has like over 30,000 subscribers, so he has more reach. So there's that. So the pricing really kind of depends on where you are at and how confident you feel. And I recommend starting low, like start with something like $40, $20 even, 20, 25, and it kind of depends on how many subscribers you have. If you let's say that you have 1,000 subscribers, I almost want to encourage you to wait until you have 1,000 subscribers to be able to start making decent money from ads. But even then, I would say, like, if I'm charging $100, 127 for, over 9,000 subscribers, then for 1,000 subscribers, maybe you can start with $20 or $30 or something and see how that goes. It's not a problem to start slow. Like, charge less in the beginning, and if you see that people are interested in buying, then you will be more confident and confidently increase your prices, basically. And Friedman, for example, She has a lot of subscribers. I think last time I checked, she had like 50K or over 50K subscribers, and she charges only, let's see, for a $150 ad, it's like $155, and then for a $300 or 300 character ad, she charges 185. So it's not really that high. Like, she has more subscribers than Josh Spector, and yet she actually charges less than Josh. However, she also runs multiple ads. So, for example, over here, she has run 3 ads. I've also seen some of her newsletters with 5, 6 ads. Josh, on the other hand, only runs 1 ad per newsletter. I've only seen him run 1 ad per newsletter, so it makes sense for him to charge more because, it's a little more exclusive because there's only 1 ad slot. I have been, kind of playing around with the idea of running fewer ads. So I started off thinking I will run 3 ads per issue. And then I actually went from 3 to 2, and then right now I'm actually running only 1 ad per issue starting this month, August. I might change later down the road. I don't know yet. I'm still very new to this, and I'm still like in the testing phase. I'm experimenting and seeing how things are going. And then a lot of my decisions actually, I make the final decision before, after doing some experiments and tests. And so right now I'm in that experimental phase where I'm just playing around with different pricing structure and different, ad volume, per issue. So I'm in that phase right now. So anyway, so the pricing and how many ads you run, it kind of depends on the business. You can do something like Ann Friedman, you can have cheaper ads but run more ads. But I have found that people almost always tend to click on one ad significantly more than the other ads. So it makes sense to me to do it the way Josh is doing it because I think it's better for the advertiser. Yes, maybe I will make more money if I ran like 5 ads, but I want my advertisers to feel confident placing ads in my newsletter because I want them to get as many clicks as possible, as much exposure as possible. And I think that happens better if you're running fewer ads. So right now I'm trying out Josh's strategy. I just implemented it, so I don't know how things are going to go, but I'm hoping to see some positive results. And the thing is that if I see that putting just 1 ad per issue is getting more clicks, then I can actually increase my prices significantly because that way people won't have to compete with other advertisers for clicks. So that's my thinking anyway. I may change that down the road. But for now, I think I like Josh's strategy of running fewer ads, just 1 ad per newsletter, better than Ann Friedman's way of running multiple ads. But we'll see. We'll see. So there's that. Now, one question you may have is how do you get advertisers? That's the question that my client was asking me because they had decided to run ads in their newsletter, but they were not sure how to go about getting clients. And like me, they were also solopreneurs, so they didn't have a whole lot of time. But unfortunately, I had to tell them that it will require some time on their end, especially if they are trying to sell ads on their own platform the way I am doing it. Because if you're not joining an ad network, then no one really knows that you're selling ads. Now, you can let your subscribers know, and some of your subscribers may buy an ad. But what if it's not sufficient? So for me, I realized that I had a couple of subscribers buy from me, but that didn't fill up the ad slots. The thing that helped me fill up the ad slots was cold pitching. So here's how I went about it. I actually tried to, pitch some of the same people who were advertising in Ann Friedman's newsletter and also Josh's newsletter. And the reason I did that is because Anne and Josh, they both have audience similar to my audience. We have similar audience profiles. We both talk about writing and or the business of writing, making money with writing, making money with content. Ad is more of a journalist, creative writer sort. So she's a little different, but even then, the ads that I was seeing on her newsletter, they were advertisers that I thought would be perfect for my audience. There would be an overlap in the audience profile. That's why I uh, actually what I do. One of the things that I do is every week when Anne sends a newsletter, I go through her newsletter. I see the people who have advertised there, and I try to reach out to them. And there are a couple of different things, couple of different reasoning behind this approach. Number one is that just the ease of it, because I don't really know, who to reach out to because I'm so new at this whole thing. And I kind of want, individual business owners to be able to advertise in my newsletter. And because I know that those are the people who actually advertise on Anne Friedman's newsletter, I thought it would be better if I reached out to them. Reason number two is that when people are already running ads, it's easier to convince them to run ads on my newsletter as well. So I actually got a lot of my advertisers by doing this. I reached out to the same people that Anne Friedman was advertising, and a few of them actually converted and they advertised on my newsletter as well. And the same thing happened with Josh's email. I actually went and cold pitched to some of Josh's clients as well. And guess what? One of them recently converted and actually bought an ad from me. So that's kind of cool. And then there are a couple of other newsletters that I have utilized the same thing with their advertisers. One of them is Sonia's newsletter, Sonia Weiser's newsletter. And I've gotten some clients through that channel as well by pitching to her advertisers, cold pitching to her advertisers. Now, if you want to know how to cold pitch, that's a whole different thing, and I don't have time for that in this video, but I have shared all of that in my membership vault. So if you're interested, join the membership vault. There's a 7-day free trial in case you're not ready to commit to pay monthly or yearly or whatever. Then you can definitely sign up with a free trial and check out this video. Check out the videos for newsletter ads, and I have more in-depth tutorials there. But I'm going to skip the cold pitch section in this video. But I do want to say that when you're sending a cold pitch, the trick to a successful cold pitch is to not send a generic template. Okay, customize, personalize all of your cold pitches to match the person you're pitching to. So yes, the way to get advertisers for your newsletter through cold pitching means putting in some of the legwork. Finding who is a potential advertiser, and then finding their information, finding their contact information, their email or whatever, looking through their products and services and their content to see if they are in fact a good match for your audience. And if they are, then you go ahead and craft a personalized pitch, a customized personalized pitch to send, and then hope that they will reach out to you. So that's the way cold pitching works. And then obviously in your cold pitch, you will share your newsletter info, how many subscribers you have, preferably what your open rate is, so people know what to expect. And you can also tell them about your audience, so that way a potential advertiser will know whether your newsletter is a good fit for them. And then you can also, and you should also, link to where they can go to buy an ad. So for example, I always link to my newsletter, this page where they can buy newsletter in my cold pitches, so that when people are interested, they can just click that link, come here and buy an ad. And that's pretty much it. And by doing this, I was able to fill out my July ad slot very quickly. And I have already sold a few of the August ad slots. There are some left, as you can see. August 16, August 20, 2 days left, and then I will have the August filled out as well. But yeah, cold pitching has worked wonders for now, and the only problem is finding new people to pitch to. But you know, one thing at a time. So anyway, that's all about newsletter ads, and I hope this gives you enough information to get started with selling your own newsletter ads. And like I said, don't be afraid to start slow. If you have 1,000 subscribers or so, you should be able to start running ads. And if you're not confident, like if you're not getting clients, so let's say that you tried cold pitching and it's not working, what you can do is try to run free ads, like a barter sort of thing. So, you know, kind of like exchange ads with someone else. So somebody else recommends your newsletter on their newsletter, and you recommend theirs in yours. So kind of like exchange like a free thing. That way you will get into the habit of, promoting other people in your newsletter, and your subscribers will get into the habit of seeing you promoting other people. And that can be a good way to start as well. So if you have like a small email list and you're not confident about selling paid ads, you can just start with exchanging these promotions. And then once you have like 2 or 3,000 subscribers, you can start collecting paid newsletter ads, and you can start charging more and more as you grow and as your confidence grows. And that's that. Anyway, that's it for today's video. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I will leave links to my membership vault as well as the resources that I have mentioned in this video in the description of this video. So that's it. And I will see you with a different video sometime soon. Bye.